Africa with the resources that are built in just to the land and the people and the diversity, I don't see why Africa wouldn't lead the world for millennia to come. My read of history tells me nothing in principle will prevent that. Look what China did. It wasn't many decades ago before the stereotype of the Chinese peasant working in the field. That was kind of true. China decided we're going to redouble our interest in science and technology and engineering and math, and they sent their people abroad to get educated. Initially, they would stay. Then they came back. Now they educate their own people.
This is a small extract of a shocking, yet powerful conversation between Neil Tyson and McGatwade on why Africa might lead the world in the future. His last statement blew my mind. Let's listen to the rest of the conversation.
Do you believe that Africans can become more prosperous in this century?
Oh, but definitely. When I look over the history of, before 1910, the United States was kind of a backwoods farmland country. We had a couple of big cities, but they were kind of smelly and dirty, and they were not very sophisticated, not like London or Paris, for example. And the country was built within a century to become a leader in the world in science and technology because there was values placed on research and engineering and math and STEM fields. Okay. So, and that happened within a century. Before then, Europe basically led the world. All right. They embraced science and technology early. All right. The Industrial Revolution hit them first. And that fueled their power over the rest of the world. Okay. A lot of it was worked towards health and security and wealth, but the rest was like hegemony. Okay. That's how they chose to use their power of influence and wealth. You go back 1,000 years, the golden age of Islam out of Baghdad, with major advances in science and engineering, astronomy and medicine. 2/3 of all, and navigation, 2/3 of all stars in the night sky that have names have Arabic names, traceable from that period. You go back thousands of years before that, you have Egypt as one of the greatest cultures civilizations has ever seen. The pyramids were the tallest structures, stable structures, to exist in this world until the Eiffel Tower. Okay? So, all I'm declaring here is no one country, no one region has eternal rights to leading the world. It's a combination of how enlightened is your leadership, what are the motivations for doing so, and they can easily happen within a century. Africa, with the resources that are built in just to the land and the people and the diversity, I don't see why Africa wouldn't lead the world for millennia to come.
Yeah, facts. But I have to stop right there because it forgot to say and to talk about all these civilizations. They took what other people did before them. Okay? Americans took what European did. Europeans took what the Arabs and the black did. The Arabs took what the blacks did in Egypt. You see? That's the thing. Because you need to trace where everything comes from. You know what I mean? For example, we know that all the Greek and the Romans, they all went to study in Black Egypt because Egypt was the first and the greatest civilization we have seen on this planet. Okay? So, all this knowledge that we have nowadays, you can trace them back to Egypt. And before Egypt, Kush, which now we call Sudan. Okay? Meroe. All those ancient African civilizations were the pioneer of everything we have today. Math was created in Africa, okay, 20,000 years ago, and the world was fully black. There were no white, no Asian, no Arab, no nothing, only black. and black people were doing math in Congo. Okay, so the pyramids, there's more pyramids in the Sudan, which is in the south, the heart of the Africa, than it is in Egypt. That's to show you that everything started in the south. Okay, in Egypt they started doing math, geometry, trigonometry, everything, and the Greek went there to study, and they created all they created, but they used African knowledge. The Roman did the same thing. They colonized the Greek, and then they went back to Africa to take the knowledge. Then the Arabs did the same thing. The Arabs went back to attack Egypt, and they get the knowledge. The Jewish did the same thing. Okay? Then the Arabs and the black people, they went to Spain and Portugal and South France. This is what you call the Moorish Empire. Okay? Black and Arabs taking over Portugal, Spain, Italy, south of France. They brought the knowledge. They brought the Greek studies, the Greek philosophy written in Arabic. And the Europeans started to learn Arabic, and they started to translate from Arabic to European language. And they went back to Greek and Latin. Okay? And then they became the superpower. And then they did not do good things with that power. They wanted to colonize, enslave people. You see, that's the difference. Then the Americans came in, they did the same thing, became superpower, and started to colonize, started to creating wars everywhere. That's the difference between Africans and Arabs and the white people. African created knowledge for the people, to help people, and they never enslaved nobody, no other race, no nothing. They shared the knowledge, they welcomed the people on the continent. Then when the Arabs took the power, they started to enslaving people. When the white people took the power, they started to enslave people. When Americans took the power, they started creating wars everywhere, going everywhere. That's the difference. Of course, Africa is going to be a superpower in the future.
And so, yeah. And with the United States just looking from the sidelines, that's my read of history tells me nothing in principle will prevent that. Look what China did. It wasn't many decades ago before, the stereotype of the Chinese peasant working in the field, that was kind of true, okay? China decided we're going to redouble our interest in science and technology and engineering and math, and they sent their people abroad to get educated. Initially, they would stay. Then they came back. Now they educate their own people, okay? They don't have to learn their science and engineering in other countries. They do it in-house in the country. China says we're going to put a person in orbit. Bada bing. They put a person in orbit. We're going to build a space station. Bada bing. So we're going to put people on the moon. That spooked us. We haven't been on the moon in 50 years. And all of a sudden, hey, let's put people on the moon. It's kind of the right time. Well, why is it the right? Well, China is doing it. All right. So we're seeing a shift in science and technology to China. And so I don't see why things can't shift to Africa.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Even. Okay.
It is overdue. Thank you so much. Neil, is there anything that you wanted to bring up that we didn't get to bring up?
Yeah, just a simple thing. A lot of what I shared with you are derived from thinking that went into the Starry Messenger cosmic perspectives on civilization, or what I shared with you in that book. And so in there, it's fully footnoted, and there's precision in the communication, even if especially when we were talking about Republicans and Democrats, it's numerically accurate in those, how many states out of 10 were red or voted blue, who went one way or another, which presidents had which budgets. It's all in there. So I invite those who never felt comfortable assigning someone else's political platform to their own views. The chapter in that book called Conflict and Resolution is all about how to apply your own rational thinking to information so that you can decide you are your own individual.
Yes.
Which we all are, ultimately.
Ultimately. Now, this has been really fun, Neil. I knew I could count on you to, just take things back from a more fair way, a view of looking at things. It doesn't matter where people land in terms of, in the end, what they perceive to be. I think at the end of the day, there's just a process that needs to be had. So
excellent, and thank you for noting that. And like I said, if what we have seen in the last 300 years is that science and technology brings nations out of poverty. So it's a matter of bringing more science and more technology to Africa, even though it's hugely agricultural, of course. Even agriculture benefits from applications of science and technology in ways that would not have otherwise been possible. So, yeah.
No single nation has eternal rights to lead the world. What stops Africa, a continent with unmatched resources and untapped potential, from leading the world?
Shout out to African Help for the video. Yeah, that's a fact. Africa would lead the world, just like anyone else. And don't forget that Africa did the first in the past. So we were the first to pray, to speak, to walk, to do the math, to travel overseas, to do agriculture, to create. So that's not new. Like you said, it's all about bringing technology, knowledge to your people, and having leaders that can, create a space that is safe, where your own people can study, can live, can eat, can do everything they need to grow, to explore their genius. And as long as we have wars, proxy wars, sellout leaders, it's gonna be difficult, and it's gonna take longer to reach that level, right? Because when we have leaders that are working for the people, for the country, for the continent, things are going to move very fast. You know what I mean? Creating schools, creating hospitals, creating the infrastructures, public transportation, roads, trains, ports, bridges, everything we need, so people can move fast. People can have everything they need fast. And if you do that, that's crazy. We already have a lot of Africans outside of Africa, in schools in Europe, America, doing great in STEM's field, science, technology, engineer, and math, for those who know what STEM stands for. Okay? We have all these people all around the world, all these black people, just like Chinese did. They went out, they studied, and they came back to their country to develop the country because their leaders wanted that. But the problem is that our leaders in Africa don't want that. They are sellouts. Because all of us that are out of Africa, that studied out of Africa, that engineer, math, stuff like that, we all are able to go back to become teachers, to share the knowledge, to educate the next generation. But because we have sellout leaders, we can't even go there. They don't want us to do that. So we just can't start businesses. But all we want is to go there and to start universities, schools, to teach our own people those things. And that's the problem we are having with African leaders. And if that change, you'll see Africa is going to move very fast forward. But hey guys, let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. And overall guys, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment. It's free, it's easy. And don't forget to watch the next video that's going to pop up here. See you next time. Take care of you and the family. Peace, I'm out.